Standardbred horse sales smashed records in 2024.
$1 million, thank you. $1 million, Emma, thank you. $850,000, thank you.
Make your plans for 2025, offering 3 days of the sport's top yearlings and the #1 mixed sale in the industry. Don't miss the Sale of Champions, November 3rd through 7th. Another spectacular year awaits. See you in Harrisburg.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process.
Captain Kirk is standing his second year in 2025 here in the state of Ohio, and he's attracting some of the best broodmares in the entire industry. You want to breed to a stallion that can step your mare up. And if you're breeding to sell those foals, you have to breed to the stallion that the biggest bidders will pay a premium to acquire. Captain Kirk stands at Winterwood Farm, and his introductory stud fee of only $3,000 ends after the 2025 season. So book your mare today. Write down this website. Go to CaptainKirkInfo.com to get all the details right now.
Winback Farm, Delaware's #1 breeder, is home to outstanding stallions, including EL Platinum, who is a proven sire, multiple DSBF final winners. Also new in 2025 is Thunderously, a half-brother to O'Brien Award winner Resolve. Also standing is world champion He's Watching, winner of the Meadowlands Pace in 146-4. Nutcracker Sweet, half-brother to the award-winning Sweet Blue, and full brother to twice-millionaire Bettersweet, and Top Flight Angel, who has multiple stakes wins, including the prestigious Yonkers Trot. Also standing, Classic Card Shark and Sports Column. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
I'm here with Brian Brown. Brian, you have been a United States Harness Writers Trainer of the Year, Good Guy Award winner, and a Kaltenbach winner. You have several accolades. What is your favorite? I'm guessing it's Grandpa.
Oh, yeah, that probably is. We've got a granddaughter that's 16 and a grandson that's 8 going on 9. And then we have a new one that's only about 4 months old. That coming down here and leaving them at home gets harder, and we do it 3 times a year. We go back and forth, and each time it just gets a little harder. And but you know how it is. This is our livelihood, so we got to be here.
Tell us about your numbers this year.
We're down to 42 here. We've had 60 the last couple of years. We didn't buy as many. We're still working hard. You know, everybody's still doing the same job. We just don't have as many grooms or a rider because we have less horses.
Tell me a little bit about the track surface this year.
Well, this year's the best the track's ever been. I've been here, I think this is 14 years. The surface just all around, plus the weather. This is one of the best years we've had in Florida.
Brian, let's talk about Yankee Darnation, a family that you're well versed with, a second dam, the dam of Done Well, a Papi Rob Hanover filly sold by Preferred, $60,000 in Lexington.
Yankee Darnation's a nice filly, training really good, very willing. She's out of the family of Done Well that did really well for us. He was undefeated at 2, only raced 6 times. He was second in the North American Cup, and then he had some bleeding problems, and he just never really kept going in the horse he was supposed to be. But this is a pretty nice filly.
Moving on to Jackaroo, a Captaintreacherous out of Soulmate Hanover, Vauquerie, $52,000. I'm mad you got this horse.
Yeah, Mike's been telling me you guys were the underbidders. The thing that drew me to him most was Doc Egloff kept telling me how much he liked this horse. And he was a nice-looking horse, but not a great individual, and he's got an ugly head. but he is a pretty nice colt. Very lazy when he's on the front, but when he's following, he knows what to do.
Moving on to Warlord, a Cattlewash.
This is a homebred of Bill Donovan's. He came a little late, so he's a little behind, but trained him very well. Nice gaited, long-legged. He reminds me somewhat of Won the West when he was young. Maybe not as heavy, but he reminds me somewhat of that horse.
When you say comes around late, I know that you have horses that you're breaking starting in Delaware, ones that ship down to you, like in the case of this homebred. What is kind of the last day when you know that your stable is going to be here in full?
Well, we come down like the week of Thanksgiving. I think this year we came a week earlier. And then these, I have 4 that didn't come until around the first of the year. And 2 of them had OCDs taken out, so they were behind. And then Bill's 2, we didn't break them until the first of the year. So that's why they're a little bit behind is all.
At the horse sales, horses are sold, they say OCDs removed. Also, are you x-raying after purchases and then having that surgery done?
We do. We x-ray every horse, even if they were x-rayed and had OCDs taken out, because not every farm x-rays every joint. They only x-ray the joints that are puffy or have fluid on them. So we want to make sure that we're not buying a horse that has a chip somewhere else that they didn't know about.
So is that being done at the center in Ocala?
No, we do that in Delaware before we come down. And most operations are done up there before we come down.
Okay. Moving on to Hagrid, a Downbytheseaside colt out of Hen Party, Crawford Farms, $90,000 in Lexington.
Yeah, he was a very nice colt. He's on the lazy side, which is a little unusual for a seaside, but we expect in time when you especially start putting them behind the gate, they can get very aggressive. So we're not worried about it. We actually like it that he's kind of quiet, but he's easy to get to go too. He's not a hard horse to get to go forward, and so far he's done everything good.
Sold as Chelsea Piers, now name changed to Moonlight Ride, another Downbytheseaside filly, $40,000, the Ohio selected sale.
Yeah, we had her mother, and she was a really nice filly, but a step below the top fillies. Still had a record of 51 apiece. She was a sweet Lou. And I had the first one last year that was not as nice as individual as this one. And this one acts like she's a really nice horse. Great gaited, has a great attitude, longer legged. Just seems like a pretty nice horse.
With the numbers that you have, I'm sure when you're going through these sale catalogs, you know these families that are being sold right now pretty well. Do you gravitate back to the families that you know?
I like to know if there's, I see one on the page, even if it's second or third dam. I probably do look at it a little bit harder.
Dragginindapennys, a Summa Cum Laude first crop, $57,000 yearling purchase at Lexington from Anvil and Lace Farm, and Ohio, Kentucky eligible.
Yeah, he was raised by a boy close to home, and which didn't have anything to do with us looking at him. We looked at all the Ohio breds in Lexington, and these Summa Cum Laudes act like they're going to be pretty nice horses. He's very willing. We've actually put earplugs on him, because if you have him in the front and somebody comes at him, he grabs right up and wants to go, or if you pull him out of a hole, he takes off on his own. So we put plugs on just to keep him calmed down a little, but so far training really good.
Let's talk working at a car wash, sold as a Ridgeling, Captaintreacherous, first foal out of Wishy Washy Girl, $65,000 Lexington purchase.
Yeah, he was just one of those horses that was a really good looking horse. He really wasn't high on our list, and then when we went and looked at him, then we really liked him. And he was having little problems early, and now we got him going straight. He's pacing good now.
Another Ridgeling that sold at the sale, Blue Indigo, a sweet Lou out of Miss Jones, her first colt, preferred equine, selling for Fair Winds Farm, $70,000 at Harrisburg.
I know the other 2 foals Joe Holloway trained, and after we bought him, Joe came to me and told me he was the nicest individual of the 3. And He is a ridgeling. So far it hasn't caused any problems. He's starting to get a little ornery. He was actually down to get gelded last Monday, and I canceled it. The girl that takes care of him says he can be tough, but she's going to live with it for a while because I do really like him. Right now, I would say he's our best 2-year-old.
Good old Papi, now named Modern Day Warrior, a Papi Rob colt, $50,000 from Harrisburg.
Yeah, he was bought late. Pretty nice colt. I've had other trainers ask me who he is, and they've said he just has a presence about him on the track. Very spooky. He doesn't like the water truck or the drag at all, but he's gotten better. But he was one of them, didn't get started until mid-December because of OCDs. So he's one of them that's only been in 240 that's behind, but he's a nice little horse.
Brian, 90% of the horses that we focused on today are dual eligible. How important is that to you?
Well, I would rank it up there as the reason we bought them, but it sure helps when you have options. And, you know, Kentucky has 4 divisions of their sire stakes. So if one's struggling and he can still race, but he's not a really good horse, you still can find a spot for him down there. In Ohio, the money's gotten so good that it's very tough. We have our fairs and stallion and sire stakes, but when you can add that 4th division like Kentucky does, it just gives you one more option.
I was watching your 3-year-olds in the race bikes today. They look great. Which ones should we watch for out of that group? And I know you have some older horses here this year as well.
Our filly that looks the most promising was a very good filly last year. I think she won 5 out of 6, even had to scratch her once because she tied up. West Winds, a very nice filly. So we've got to correct the tying up problems, which so far down here we turn her out every night, all night long. We'll try to do that at home, and hopefully we can hold her to where she can just show up and race every week. I've got a couple others that raced a little bit, but didn't really do near as well as I expected. We gelded a couple, a horse named Donchik. He's a Sweet Lou. He's only been in 20. He had a foot problem when he came, but he's gotten really good, and he acts like he wants to be a horse this year. Expedited Service is a Cattlewash. We thought he was my best horse last year, and he just didn't go forward. But this year, he trained today in 2 minutes like a really good horse. I have one horse that did not race last year, but trained fast. Stranger on the Beach. Great looking, good gaited. Had some knee problems last year, so we had to quit. He trained today in 2 minutes and trained really good. So I still think he could be my best horse, but he's got to go prove it first.
I know we've talked several times about how important Jenny is to the operation. Everything that she does, I mean, it's amazing all the work she puts in.
Well, she's pretty much the backbone of it. She keeps it all running. I've said this before, if she didn't do all that, she has several different clipboards for me to keep everything organized. I've said before, if it wasn't for her, we'd really be going around in circles down here.
I'm honored to get Jenny Brown in the mix here. Jennifer, I have seen for years these charts that you make up. You have the numbers for the horses. How did it all come about, even getting these saddle pads?
The saddle pads kind of was an idea from Tony Alagna. When we started getting up on horses, I saw that he had them, and I asked him where he got his from. Dan Anderson from Indiana. And we had quite a few then, about 80 or so head. It was confusing when the owners came, so I thought, well, what if I just stuck a number on everything and made up a spreadsheet and the name and the number on there, and so the owners could find their horse.
It has more than just that. It has the sire, the dam. I've got to see your spreadsheet. I mean, it has really grown to an impressive list for any of your owners or people coming to watch horses here at the ranch.
Yeah, I have a little bit of banking and accounting in my background and self-taught as far as programs and stuff, spreadsheets. And as we got bigger and bigger, I pulled away from the training boards, handwritten training boards, and you can't read Brian Brown's writing anyways. So typing was better. And just kind of shuffled to the sheets. And that way every morning, Monday or Sunday comes around and Brian makes up the sheets and I copy them and hand them out and set sheets. And it's just so much easier for people, instead of running to a board all the time. It takes time to run to a board, look at it, and then go back and forth. And they'll take a picture and it'll be on their, on their phone.
Brian has gone down in numbers this year. That has to help you a little bit.
It's wonderful, and he hates it. I'm like, he's counting as we're at the sales, and we're like 10 less, 20 less, whatever, and we're down to 42, and he just turned 60, and I'm 55, and I'm thinking retirement, slow down, and, you know, enjoy the grandkids, you know, maybe stop coming to Florida one day, and he's like, no, he's like full tilt and worried, but what he gets down on numbers, his main worry is keeping the employees. I hope that they realize I think we treat him well. We have really good employees, and we want to keep them. And Brian, his biggest heartbreak is having to let somebody go because we don't have enough horses. A good employee go because they're hard to come by, and we want to take care of them.
I was telling him that Dawn Deaton was actually speaking highly of you the other day in a setting. She said that you guys treat her like family.
Yeah, we do. And we treat them like we want to be treated. It's nothing to see Brian cleaning a stall or throwing on harness. We need to do whatever we need to do to help the day progress and get done.
Best of luck, Brian. I think it looks like you have a great crop, and I wish you the best of luck in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.